Is anybody going to San Antonio or Phoenix, Arizona? Any place is good enough so long as I can't forget that I ever known ya. Welcome to another episode of Crime Pays a Botany Does It. We're here with a little crumb of habitat that was just saved because it's on a weird, fucked up limestone ridge just above the freeway and kind of sandwiched in between some access roads and other stuff. And we're looking at San Antonio's, one of San Antonio's, there might be two species here, native agave species. So agave gets planted a lot, you know, just as human horticulture with the shit. You got agave americana, some other species, but this is agave lofanta. All right, this is the native San Antonio agave and South Texas agave, and you can tell because it's got those. Well, first off, the whole habit of the plant, the way it kind of opens up, kind of like a bowl, instead of having stiff spines, they kind of curve like that, and then it's got those tend to have those yellow stripes on the center, and then of course those you got those teeth, those mean ass teeth, and they're forming offsets. All right, because agave are monocarpic, they flower once, die, and then you know, that's it for the plant. So a way around that, if you could send off clonal offsets, that's an adaptive benefit. You know, those are going to be the species that thrive more than ones that are just monocarpic. Well, it's a little more complicated than that, but you get what I'm saying. It's an adaptive benefit. You can make more yourself. So if you don't get pollinated when you send up that big scape that you've been waiting your whole life for, that inflorescence you've been waiting your whole life for, you'll still have offsets. Anyway, we're gonna go check out what's growing here on this rocky limestone ledge and check out the little crumb of habitat, see what else is going on. It's very cool. These are the places I love. These are the neglected areas that don't get sprayed, they don't get planted, they're just kind of generally ignored. You can see you got some invasives too, but I'm always curious about the natives that thrive in these big shitty cities. No offense to San Antonio, every city is kind of a big shitty city, but I love them nonetheless. Let's check it out. You know, they take trespassing pretty seriously. God, I'm gonna have to take one of them cuttings. You got the ball moss, of course, garbage, a lot of invasives. Mesquite, very important plant. Celtis, one of the hackberries. You can see that right there. Also scabbard leaves, cannabis family. But let's check out what's going on. Look at this massive population of agave. God damn it. Oh, that Celtis, that hackberry's got a mistletoe coming up in it. You can see that just on the other side. Kind of a shitty place for me to film it. You got all the ball moss, the Tillandsia recurvata in it. And of course, here's that agave. Agave univitata is the accepted name. For a while, it was called agave lofanta. You can see it; they're getting really big, a lot bigger than a lot bigger than I've seen them in South Texas, further South Texas, like right on the border. But you could see the scape too. Look at those. That's a scape. See, agave inflorescences can be paniculate or they can be spiculate, like a spike. But either way, it's a scape. It's like a single inflorescence, a large peduncle that sends up all the flowers. And so each one of those black, dried out, dehiscent fruits was a flower. And then, of course, it released all the little black, flaky seeds once they open. But it's kind of cool that this is just a vestigial population that only exists because it's sandwiched between these roads. You can't really develop here. It's probably state-owned. I'm trespassing on state property right now. Hopefully the state has a good sense of humor about it. Won't come after me. But anyway, look at this. Just this massive and massively important plant. And when look at how tall that inflorescence gets from one plant. So you can see it takes a while to cook up all the energy required. It takes a few years, a decade at least, to cook up all the energy required to send up a scape that big, and that happens within 2 months, less than that, a month. That scape goes up, starts flowering. Probably, I'd love to do pollination studies right here, see what's pollinating these. You know, probably some bats. I think most of the bats around South Texas are insectivorous, but I know there's, every once in a while you get one of the nectar-feeding bats coming up from Mexico. Right there we got Dasylirion texanum sotol, related to agave, can also be used to make booze. There was some beef going on between, you know, people making a mezcal or what do they call it? I forget what the fuck they call it. I don't know. I don't drink, but they making the booze in Mexico, and then some people in West Texas were trying to make it and you know, call it the same thing. It's not. It's like calling you know, bourbon that's made in a place besides Kentucky, still calling it bourbon. You can't do that. Anyway, but same thing. But this is not monocarpic. This will continue to flower And that inflorescence in the back is coming up from the agave. But Dasylirium texanum, great plant, easy as shit to grow from seed. Should grow this plant if you can. They thrive in this climate. They're growing here on a sketchy, rocky limestone ledge, as you can clearly see. I saw this, it looked so good. I said, oh my God, you know, is San Antonio really beefing up its landscaping? Holy shit, look at all that. But of course they're not. This is just the vestigial population. I always see this when I come through San Antonio, all right? Singing Charlie Pride, singing a San Antonio song, getting stoked about the Alamo, all right? Watching, I'm just a big San Antonio booster. I watched that Pee Wee Herman piece, you know, in that Pee-wee's Big Adventure when he goes to the Alamo. I watched that like 3 times a year at least, all right, since I was 3. Look at this, we got this senna species right here too. Another cool legume, and again, because it's in a dry, hot place, it's got those, it's evolved those hairs on everything, pinnate leaves and hairs, and it can just go dormant when it gets too dry or too cold. It gets a little colder in the winter, but not by much. Look at that Dasylirium. Look at that. Look at the spines on this. Oh God, what a great genus. Sotol is the common name for that. Opuntia lindheimeri or engelmannii or whatever. I don't know the taxonomy. I kind of lose interest beyond the genus name, honestly. I love all Opuntias, but I just, you know, it can be kind of a clusterfuck. Getting ready to flower, evidently. That's going to be nice. You got those thigmonastic stamens. So the stamens on this move to enclose the bee. Once a bee lands on it, they move in response. I think all Opuntia flowers do that. Move in response like a little hand to make sure the bee gets dabbled with pollen. Erodium texanum, a native member of the Geraniaceae. There's a very invasive Erodium species from the Mediterranean. This one is native though. This is texanum, and it looks like you got some sort of damn weird gall and them leaves down there. Boy, it's really getting hot. The fucking the camera keeps overheating. Wonder if anyone's gonna call the cops on me, maybe. Oh, this is a cool one. Tetranurus linearifolia. Asteraceae. You can see all the adaptations to a dry climate, all the hairs and shit. Just another damn yellow composite. Flip it over, look at the filaries, because that's how we identify damn yellow composites, because they all look the same. Look at the filaries. Look at the, we got one series of filaries covered in hairs and a specific acute point to them, acute shape. And then of course the leaves, linearifolia. That's where you get the name. God, look at that. Don't you get horny for Cretaceous limestone? See that? And it gets all that black lichen and stuff on it too. There's the whole thing's, how many different species of microorganisms you got living on a rock, on a porous calcareous rock. That's a way to go, you know, if you want to jump off into a sea of daggers. Look at that, you got a native grape. That's nice. Vitis mustangensis. Look at that. Look, again, native North American grapes, and it's adapted to a dry climate. You can see, look at all the damn, look at that indumentum of fuzz on the underside of that leaf. Supposedly the grapes, and many of the North American grapes are shitty, but they could be used as rootstock, supposedly, for the more sensitive and dainty European ones. I don't know, I imagine you could probably, in a few generations, breed a decent tasting grape from the native ones. I don't know. That's cool though. A desert grape, well not desert, but limestone. You know, we're hitting the Edwards Plateau. Continent starts to dry out as you go west. That's cool, all right? Selection pressures in a dry environment. And look at that, right at the base of the grape, you got Berberis trifoliata, all right? The roots contain berberin and are supposedly quite medicinal. It's also a sclerophyllus that is kind of like plasticky leaved plant, kind of stiff, kind of plasticky, and very spiny. Again, adaptations to a dry environment where you're the only thing on the menu, or a relative paucity of things on the menu. And so there's gonna be more herbivory pressure on you, so you develop spines or very sharp, stiff, pointed leaves and branches. You can see the fruits on there. God, that Senegalia romariana smells so good. Look at it. Don't worry, that road is shut down. So their dogs are just hanging out. They're hanging out with my friend Priya over there, and they're just, you know, they're fine. Don't worry about it. She was kind enough to watch them while I came in here and fucked around, so I have to buy her a burrito later. Anyway, so, this thing smells so, I wish I could transmit smell through the phone. There you go, Vitis mustangensis. Look, a native grape. Does your city's neglected Rust Belt areas and homeless camps have Vitis mustangensis in it? You know? I don't know, maybe. You got nice Palo Verde down there too. And it's unlikely anyone's ever gonna bulldoze this. I mean, Texas will find a way probably eventually because that's just their style. but you can't really build here. It's just impractical for building. Anyway, we're gonna go check out what else is growing in the nearby area and give it a good rectal exam. Probably some cool plants here, some cool relics from when the rest of the area looked like this. That's nuts. It's crazy to think that even over there, the shitty office parks and the shitty lawns and all the garbage, this is actually not too bad. I like some of the buildings here. You go, to some of the shopping center areas, it's especially depressing, but this isn't too bad. But it's crazy to think it all looked like this at one point. This was the native skin of San Antonio on in this area, this whole region. So good to, see what species are going on. They got a traffic jam. You spend your life sitting in traffic. Texas is building these, it's funny, they're building these crazy freeway ramps 80 feet in the sky so you could be stuck in a traffic jam, 100 feet above the ground. That's nice. Good thinking. See those guys, that's Titantia anomala, all right? Comelinaceae, it's a monocot family. Comelinales is the order, all right? Some of them can be pretty weedy. This one is actually native, and it's pretty remarkable what it's doing right there. You can see what it's doing. It looks like little fly fishing lures, all right? It's got dimorphic anthers, so you got those 3 on the bottom, you got 3 up top, and the 3 up top, it got those fly fishing lures with the trichomes with the yellow bits at the end, which are basically pollen mimics, all right? For pollen, for bees that are going in, are lured in by the pollen. And then it looks like, what the shit? Oh, actually, some of those anthers still have, it looks like they have actual pollen in it. It looks like it's still actually fertile. So, and then of course, down at the bottom, you got the female parts. This is a bisexual flower. You got the female style. It looks like an anther, or it looks like a stamen, but it doesn't have an anther on the end of it, and it attaches to that white ovary in the center right there. Some of the flowers on the members of Comelinaceae are fucking wild, man. It's like they're just going to a lot of trouble to, they got really interesting pollination systems. Yeah, really complex flower morphology. Don't be afraid to dissect flowers. Look up close, wonder what the fuck's going on. Don't just take them for granted. Right? Don't be a schmuck. They're not beautiful. It's bullshit. That doesn't mean anything. They're complex systems for getting plants to fuck and make more seeds. Prick. And then right here we got Phacelia congesta. With the scabbard hairs. Actually, this doesn't have, they're not too scabbard. They're kind of soft and velvety. But a lot of the members of Boraginaceae have the hairs, whether it's Iridia inaqua or Cordia basieri or whatever. They all tend to have those hairs. But Loasaceae, the Medzelia family in North America, can have them hairs on them leaves too. So you got the hairs on the leaves, plenty of the trichomes and whatnot. But then, of course, you got those scorpioid cymes, right? Like a scorpion tail, an inflorescence that's curled back like a scorpion tail, and you got all those stamens poking out of those 5-lobed purple corollas. And then let's just take a nice shot of what the calyx looks like. Oh yeah, look at those elongated green sepals. See that? And you can see the flowers maturing on right there. Oh, that's nice. All the trichomes, all the hairs. That's Phacelia congesta, great fucking plant. All right, I wish this was already going to seed, because I'd come collect a shit ton of seed and bring some of them seeds home. I want this in my yard. And look at it, the Texas mountain laurel, which is not related to laurels at all. It's in the pea family Fabaceae, as you can tell from these pea fruits. Crack that open, you can see those legumes, those legume pods. Crack that open, you get a big red shiny seed inside, which is toxic, but was also, I think it was used primarily as jewelry back in the day, last few thousand years, by indigenous people. You get them in a cave and stuff. Mezcal beans, they're called. Frequently confused with peyote by the HDC, the honky death cult that arrived and was trying to outlaw peyote in the late 1800s, and so they could convert all the natives to Christianity. But anyway, we all know how that story went down. But regardless, there you go. Ethnobotanically, a very important tree. Supposedly it was, it's psychoactive. I kind of doubt that. It's probably very poisonous too. Could be both. It's certainly very poisonous. You don't want to be eating that. And it can be hard to germinate. You got to scarify, like quite a few legumes, you got to scarify them seeds, and, maybe a hot water treatment too. You can see the hilum in there. It's the scar where it was attached to the little cord that attached to the rest of the plant inside the fruit. Right there. See that? That's the hilum. See that? You like it, just like on a bean. Bean's got a hilum too. Beautiful flowers when it's going off. They smell incredible. All right, like grape soda. Yeah, see, there you go. There you go. Them flowers are already done. Them ovaries are already swollen and enlarging. Those were inside the pea flowers. They looked just like a pea flower too. Banner wings and keel on that Dermatophyllum secundiflorum, the Texas mountain laurel. And so these will keep swelling. Actually, that one just aborted, it looked like. And in a few months, you'll have what I just showed you back there. All right, this is actually a really horrible tree. Definitely a candidate for sawing down with an electric chainsaw late at night. Doesn't matter if it's private property, public, just go get rid of them. They're invasive as hell, real bad, you know, non-native tree. They're in the mahogany family, Meliaceae. They actually have really cool flowers. Cool looking flowers, and I'm sure they're important where they're native. They just don't belong here. They overtake the native ecology. So go vandalize them, take them down. There you go. Speak of the devil, the northern extent of this tree's range, Iridia anaqua, boraginaceae, same family as the plant that I showed those with those scorpioid cymes, that Phacelia congesta. Look at this. You got them scabbard leaves, scabbard like sandpaper. This thing gets you can get quite big actually. They can be very large trees, bird dispersed. They produce little berries. The fucking parakeets love the shit out of them. All right, with the native parakeets do, that come up from Mexico. Flowers smell incredible. Very nice tree. I used to not like it because it popped up. I mean, it's native, but it volunteers readily. It pops up everywhere. But it's massively important for wildlife, both pollinators and the birds that disperse it. Oh, this is nice. Isenhardia texana, right? I've seen another Isenhardia species in Mexico as well. Leaves, when you crush them, smell incredible. Almost smells like it should be in the citrus family, but it's a legume. It's in the Amorphiae tribe. And Amorphiae, all the members of that tribe, I think, produce those glands in the leaves that give them that smell. They got that exudate, all right, which of course is a deterrent to microherbivores, to insects gnawing and chewing on it. Probably some deer shit too, who knows. Look at that. Louie's looking for a spot to take a shit. Ode to public shitting. As long as you don't risk anybody, you know, stepping in it. You know, I lived in California for 20 years, so maybe that's where I got the public shitting habit. I don't know. Anyway, Vitellia farnesiana right here, with those little yellow globe inflorescences. You're looking at about 80 flowers composing that inflorescence. Smells absolutely divine. All right, another legume, nitrogen fixing bacteria in the roots. Volunteers everywhere, massively important tree. They can get that big in 2 years. You just, you know, if you get them in your yard, you just got to prune them up as they grow, because they can go all over the place. You just got to maintain them, you know. But very important shade trees, especially when it's getting spicy and heating up in South Texas like it tends to do. God, our Texas natives are just such great plants. They're just such aggressive little weeds, and I love the shit out of them. Native weeds. They're not weeds to me. I love the shit. Aloysia gratissima, whitebrush. Verbenaceae, as you could tell from that inflorescence and those flowers. Remember, we group plants by flowers, not leaves. Leaves can be very polymorphic and variable across all the species in a genus, but flowers don't change that much within a family. So, get the same general structure. Anyway, this thing's fucking great. And this is, I mean, this is the only, it's not flowering, this is the only flowers on it, but when they're lit up and they pop up everywhere, great fucking plant. Look at it, you got the ball moss, all right? The ball moss, not a moss at all, actually a relative of pineapple, Tillandsia recurvata. You got it growing in that dermatophyllum up there, look at it. It's so weird to not see any pollinators on any of this, but we are in a city, and they're probably spraying all kinds of fucking pesticides. And I mean, there's, you know, this is like a little crumb of habitat, but it's so weird to see these plants without any insects on them. It's fucking weird. But expect more of that as we head into the dystopian future of the Anthropocene. I just got to be real, all right? You know, don't get depressed about it. You know, watch that Last Day of the Dinosaurs documentary. I was watching it with my kid the other day, and it's real, you know, it just lets you know it's all going to be okay, you know? Because one day an asteroid might hit it and get rid of all the dumb shit we built, and it'll be fine. Let's go look at this. Oh no, oh my God, I didn't know Senegalia romeriana was here. Oh my God, this is the most fantastic smelling fucking legume in the world, probably. It smells, oh God, oh, Jesus Christ. Senegalia, of course, can be distinguished from Vitellia, the other genus into which acacia was split up in the quote-unquote New World. Actually, there was quite a few, Mario Sousa and others, but Vitellia and Senegalia are the big ones. Senegalia has the spines in between the nodes, the leaf nodes and the flower nodes, and Vitellia has it at the nodes. So this is Senegalia. It's a mean plant. Get the little cat claws, it'll snag you. There's the emerging flowers, the inflorescences. You can see each one of those is a flower. Each one of those little warts is a flower, and they open up. They got reduced petals and sepals, so you can't really see them. All right, they're small, and then the stamens are just really getting going. See, you can see the petals and sepals right there, and then those are all the stamens, brush-like stamens, and then there's a style and stigma, a single style and stigma in each of those flowers that corresponds to an ovary, which will mature into a little bean fruit. This smells fucking incredible. I remember I was in Coahuila once, and looking at a peyote population, and I just got this amazing smell before I was formally introduced to this plant. And looked over, and I was trying to figure out what it was, and this thing was just lit up 15 feet away. I could smell it from where I was in that dry desert air. You get a little tent city over there. I hope I'm not bothering the guy, you know? Gonna see more of the tent cities as we go further into the dystopian future too. You know, I'm not trying to bum you. I'm just being honest. It's fine. You all right? It's just be real. Be real, and then find a way to be positive and humorous in light of all the dark shit, all right? Don't just ignore it and pretend it's not there. Do that forced positivity thing that everybody in California does that makes them mentally ill. No offense. But, you know, anyway, it's a certain demographic in California. It's not everybody in California. Hashtag not all Californians. But fuck, you know, not all Texans either. Texans got some weird fucking dystopian. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. I won't even get distracted. See, I look at this to not think about that. Let's go. It's Agave lophantha. It's the native San Antonio agave. And it grows down in South Texas and Starr County, too. You can see that green stripe. Now it's got a different name. Lophantha synonymous with, I forget the other thing they're calling it. I learned it as lophantha. That's fucking great to see that coming up here. That's a volunteer that wasn't planted. You see tons of, you know, planted agaves. This is the native one to South Texas. People got to be planting this. Oh, I seen it from the freeway, and I said, you know, I seen that. I said, wow. I said, wow, we got to stop. Look at that green stripe in the center of it. Look at the teeth and the margins. A mean fucking plant. Important for nectivorous bats and for the bees. God, it's fucking nice. Let's go say hi to this guy. God, it's so sad. More fucking tent cities, man. You're gonna see so much more of that as we move into the future. Anyway, but you can see it's sending up this scape. That little asparagus-like inflorescence is getting ready to go off, covered in 100 or 500 or maybe even 1,000 flowers. A massively important source of nectar for the local insects, which will in turn feed the local birds and other critters, all the lizards, all that shit. And then, of course, it dies. All agave are monocarpic. The flower once die. That's why they're such good sources of tequilas, because they're such a rich source of energy. You got to have all that energy and sugar in that heart, you know, at the source of those leaf blades, to be able to send up this 10-foot tall inflorescence and produce prodigious amounts of nectar to get all the goddamn bees and stuff in there. Ah, Jesus, it's sad, man. Poor guy. Just passed out. I would assume, you know, on her opioids or something. Fucking America, 21st century. You know, it's just like we're spending so much money on dumb shit and not helping people. You got a whole populace just gradual decline. It's a long, protracted decline from here. You know, the Roman Empire took 200 or 300 years to fully fail. Just getting whiffs. We're just getting whiffs of the fucking Senegalia Romeriana. That's a big one. I only see them in the Chihuahua Desert when they're like 6 feet tall. That thing's 25 feet tall. Nice Heredia and Aquanex. Oh, just getting an updraft of floral scent. Oh, it's so divine. Look at that limestone, too. Look at all that limestone escarpment. Oh, God. There's that golden ball. What's it called? Golden bead? Golden fucking rain. The invasive bastard. The mahogany family. See that? Those purple, white flowers on that thing. They're actually really cool looking when you look at the flower morphology, and they probably got a really cool pollination system. I just kind of hate the tree because it escaped horticulture, and it's invasive as fuck. Look at that, that's actually nice. I appreciate that. You need some graffiti vandals trashing the highway signs, on the back at least. You know, at least he was kind enough to paint the back. All right? Tag bangers. Tag bangers, that's what they used to call any graffiti writer in Chicago. You know, them tag bangers hit my garage again. Sign collecting diesel exhaust and pollution dust otherwise, you know? Look at that. Vitis mustangensis and Heredia and Aqua growing right through the fence. Oh, look at this. See, look, they unlocked it for us. You know, who's the patron saint who goes around cutting locks to fences in areas that don't really protect anything anyway, you know? That's a notable characteristic. I like that. Look at this, same thing. Relictual habitat. You got some lupinus, some bluebonnet, some lupinus texensis growing right there. The state flower of Texas. This is nice. Another homeless camp down there. Dacelerion, dermatophyllum. Wonderful, wonderful plants here, and a lot of cool You know, when you start looking at some of the forbs and herbaceous stuff, a lot of really cool shit going off. Oh, but they got the buffalo grass infestation here too. Look at that agave. God damn it, that's wild. You know, that's a rare species in South Texas. Here it's everywhere. It's thriving. They need to start planting it in yards too. San Antonio's nice, man. Oh, the Texas persimmon, Diospyros texana. Oh, we got flowers going off there. You can see him holding a piece of mistletoe too. Yeah, there's the little flowers. Edible fruits, Ebinaceae. I think it's an Ericales. I think it's in the order of blueberries. Yeah, you get the reflexed petals a little bit, you know, dainty little flowers, but in that tiny flower is an ovary which then matures into an actual persimmon, a desert version of a persimmon. All right, coated in trichomes and hairs. That bark is beautiful. Why are more people not planting these? Kill a crepe myrtle and plant the Texas persimmon. You know, them tiny little, look at it, look at it. And of course the leaves, abaxial surface has a little hint of indumentum as well. Yeah, I think most persimmons actually do this. They're dioecious. Plants are either male or female, so they only produce male or female flowers. Right there, clearly you can see that's a female flower. You got a swollen ovary at the base. You got 3 stigma lobes on top of it, and the flowers are nowhere near as numerous as the flowers would be on a male plant. Let's go look at a male plant. Here you go. Here's a male plant. You can see it's got way more flowers on it, right? And that's, you know, plants that do so. You know, if they're unisexual flowers, either it's a monoecious plant or a dioecious plant, there'll always be more males than females. Look at cucumbers and pumpkins. Great example. They produce way more male flowers. All right, because, you know, males are kind of useless. They're just sperm donors. YouTube will censor me if I say that. You know what I mean? They're just pragmatic for getting their gametes out there. See, you know, many male flowers all clustered together. You can see the stamens in there, much different than this. You can see the female flower right there. See, much different than that. See, there's the males, there's the females. See that? Stamens versus an ovary. Many stamens versus a single ovary with 3 carpels, each carpel corresponding to a stigma. So anyway, that's technically on the left there. It's a compound ovary. All right, it's got many carpels composing that ovary, you know, as opposed to just if it was just one carpel, it'd be a simple ovary. But you don't gotta memorize all that. Just know fucking Diospyros texana is dioecious. There you go. Look at the flowers a little bit bigger on the female too. Look at this nice little park. That's how we came up here. And I got the dreaded crepe myrtle planted. It's a water hog. It's non-native. Doesn't benefit native bees really at all. I'm sure there's a couple of generals that hit it. It's got that same bark. Why couldn't it just be a Diospyros texana? Why not just plant a Diospyros texana, a fucking native plant that evolved here, spent millions of years evolving here, is interwoven with the ecology? It just blows my mind. Instead you got this shit, you know, but you could come down, you could come here and, you know, electric chainsaw at night and get rid of it. I mean, I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm just saying, you know, a better thing to do would be to petition the city to start planting native instead. But, you know, it's just the teen vandal in me. Don't do it. That's a nice camp. I just talked to them. I didn't really want to ask to film because it'd be imprudent, but they're really nice people, Jeff and Jillian. Really sweet, kind people, and I like their decor too. They let me take a picture of that scary bear. But anyway, it's nice. The city doesn't mess with them, so. Because where else are they gonna go, huh? You start fucking with them, you push people out, then they're gonna be on the street, and then they're bad for all the tourists, ooh, you know. Anyway, all right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. Look at the fucking lupins. It's so nice. And the buffalo is... See, this would be the time to spray the buffalo. Come by with like a piece of cardboard or one of those politician yard signs that you steal and block the plants you want to keep and then spray the rest, all that new growth with the glyphosate. Knock it out. Just falls right down. Go down in a minute. Actually, it takes about 2 or 3 weeks. You want to spray it when it's hot and sunny. Anyway, that's all I got. Have a good rest of your day. Go fuck yourself. Bye.